Listen, I'm skipping the introduction once more, since Drake fans are now even more upset with me for simply pointing out that I missed something so important that it was easily outstreamed by everything Kendrick Lamar has put out during his reign. I'll also point out that Squabble Up and Luther easily obliterate Drake's streaming stats in just 7 hours of tracking, just to make them even angrier. Before we delve any deeper into this though, let's take a moment to observe how Drake's latest song continues to hold its position as the year's most cringe-worthy song, allowing the whole rap community to witness it for themselves. More than a year has passed since Kendrick Lamar and Drake returned to the public eye and resumed their active lives, while dominance over the entire rap scene. We're going to try something different today because, after discussing Kendrick and Drake, we need to discuss one of the most important topics in hip-hop, which is the situation surrounding another well-known rapper. Right now you may say it with me this time about Drake, so be sure to like and subscribe, and get ready for something that rap fans won't want to miss. Now, what have I missed since the Iceman drove about in the ice truck, dropped the hard part 6, and then copied and pasted his face in an icebox while dancing on stream? Given the glaring grandeur and spectacle Drake has chosen to produce for such a catastrophic miss, it appears that this time will be different. Everyone is currently witnessing what the most ridiculous rapper in the game has to offer. At the heart of it all, as we've previously seen, individuals like Future and LeBron James have heard this song in some way and have already displayed their initial responses to Drake's work. If you felt that LeBron's trolling of Drake wasn't enough, I have some excellent news for you. Things haven't stopped there. Drake is afraid of the true person who started it all, which goes beyond simply the folks he is disparaging in this song. Now, it appears that Kendrick Lamar, the current king of rap, is still out and on the European leg of his grand national tour. While we have been able to watch him perform and engage with fans during these shows, we can also see how he moves in real time alongside some of these returning moments where everyone is left in complete awe of how awful a single rapper's moves can be at Drake and, apparently, with Kendrick Lamar's most recent performances in Germany. One thing that was evident about Kendrick's behavior during this particular performance was that he was having more fun here, possibly more so than at any other stop on the tour, as he continued to spearhead the effort to have the highest grossing hip-hop tour of all time and one of the highest grossing tours, period. On the one hand, this is undoubtedly due to the fact that the audiences are enthralled with the performances, chanting and cheering Kendrick, and moving as one cohesive unit, something we hardly ever witness. Just take a moment to watch this video and notice how Kendrick has the entire stadium in motion, while he freestyles about familial ties and tells other rappers that they will never be able to match him and that they are terrified of him. And I just had to play again, because the crowd control that is displayed around the stadium simply demonstrates the several levels of this rap game that we are witnessing. Now it's like dancing in an icebox. Again, while one man is shouting at people in the street while driving a van, the other is at stadiums where fans are coming to enjoy. Fantastic show, and not to solicit cash or freebies. As far as I'm concerned, Kendrick has never been a greater victor. Beyond that though, it appears that Kendrick Lamar heard Drake's cringe rollout for Iceman Episode 1 and the entire "What did I miss" single because of the way he was acting, from his body language to his general demeanor, when he was playing his Drake disses for everyone to see. Now taking into account not just the individuals that frequently interact with Kendrick online, but also Kendrick himself, as he demonstrates his deep connection to all spheres of life through the references he raps about. It's safe to infer, though, that Kendrick listened to Drake's most recent song to see if he finally got what he wanted from him, which was a full-on rendition of Drake featuring the tunes. Naturally though, Drake is making fun of the pop out here and is furious about everything that has transpired as a result of this feud. Kendrick was most likely just sitting there listening to this thing and laughing about the irrevocable effects. that his rapping at one of the highest levels ever had on someone, because during Kendrick Lamar's performance of Not Like Us here on the second night, which took place immediately after Drake dropped this record, he did something that I don't think we've seen on the entire tour throughout all of its legendary shows. He just burst out laughing while rapping one of the verses that sent Drake into this crash in the first place, which caused him to freeze up all forms of logic and to begin this Iceman era as a whole and a witness. Now, regardless of your opinion, I think it's hilarious to see Drake begin a new comeback after all of these performances and spending so much time outside. Now we want to draw up this scene from Kendrick Lamar and take in this entire moment that we are witnessing from him. Now when Kendrick is performing this song, he's rhyming some of the most hilarious phrases ever utilized in a rap feud with another rapper. At the same time, Kendrick appears to be working and traveling while witnessing Drake transform into a literal version of himself to the point where it is becoming so unbearable that you can no longer even take him seriously. In fact, it appears that Kendrick is now at the stage where he is performing this record live for the world to hear, and he is unable to finish the words without simply laughing uncontrollably during some of its most memorable passages. The fact that Kendrick Lamar, a performer as polished and controlled as he is, almost broke character while working on this song and was unable to control how little he thought of Drake is really remarkable. Drake has now succeeded in transforming from a real rap artist or villain to a simple cartoon character or meme, at least when it comes to his music releases. When we consider the entire camp and scene surrounding Kendrick, who has also been creatively clowning this new song from Drake, and the decisions he made throughout the timeline, it's really absurd, so we shouldn't be shocked that he thinks this of Drake and that he can't even think about him without laughing. However, we will examine the short history of events to determine why this is even occurring in the first place. Even if I am aware that Drake's supporters dislike this, since it was the anniversary of that, it is evident that your guy Drake truly requested all of this, not only by mentioning the fight but also by releasing the song on July 4th to coincide with Kendrick Lamar's release of the Not Like US music video. However, this further exacerbates Drake's situation and demonstrates his obsession with the beef. The pop-out in this song is then take offense at him and react to him however they see fit. And you can't pretend that this isn't true. Furthermore, it should come as no surprise that this song falls short of the bar that Kendrick Lamar has set in every aspect after being blown away by these lines. At the very least, he must begin to acknowledge to himself that he is aware that Kendrick not only won this feud or rap in general, but that he truly dominates the music industry at the moment. Furthermore, it only serves to highlight how much Drake is dwindling and how he is losing everything when Kendrick laughs at him as though he were a straight cartoon villain who is losing with each new episode. And once more, when we look at everything that Kendrick Lamar is doing, we can see how dominant he is right now on a global scale. This is evident in all of the videos of him going viral, having more fun than ever, and interacting with the crowd more than we have ever seen, like in this Family Ties clip, or even in this other, equally iconic video of him jumping on the G and X while performing. Okay, with all of this, we are witnessing Kendrick engage with the audience in a new way and open up a completely new realm of his celebrity, which he hasn't had. At the same time, Drake installed a camera in a refrigerator so that he could broadcast live and broadcast to everyone on wax. Come on, Drake, please. It's finished. Recognize it. On the other hand, since the Iceman will be off the hook for a while, he will have a bit more time to freeze up the remainder of his career. Because what is truly over and what you need to like before we move forward, because it is truly this important to the entire future of hip-hop, is another significant situation and issue that, for once, is not about the Iceman but rather someone else with whom Drake did end up at odds and who was disparaged on Family Matters, A$AP Rocky. Since then, Rocky's career has officially reached a point where we must have a conversation that I believe many others have wanted to avoid for a very long time, because no longer can we ignore the fact that A$AP Rocky has a major problem that might potentially destroy his entire future career. He has essentially lost the faith of all listeners, whether they are fans or haters, as a result of his constant music releases. This has happened after over 10 years of waiting. And aside from disrespecting the culture and just doing what Drake does, which is ultimately just becoming irrelevant, not because you're bad or anything, but because you are something worse. In many ways, which is lazy, he has reached the lowest point that a rapper could possibly reach in this game. Now, what I'm talking about specifically is that A$AP Rocky recently released a brand new song that was meant to be a single for his upcoming album that he keeps teasing, and that he never drops. Currently, this record has performed horribly on both Spotify and Apple Music, in addition to failing to make an appearance on the Apple Music Top Anything rankings after being a real exclusive. The video was so poorly received that Rocky actually leaked it, and it also failed on Spotify, earning fewer streams than the Nine Violent album. All things considered, the rap community has abandoned A$AP Rocky and is now only demonstrating that, despite all of the gains and antics and the times when it would have been ideal for him to release the album, he never did. Actually, until he releases this record, everyone is finished and doesn't give a damn about what he has to say. And to be honest, when we examine the backlash and see that everyone is talking about how Rocky cares more about Rihanna and his glasses and fits than actual music, you start to realize that, in the past, a rapper who was so well known and made such amazing music that people thought the big three would be A$AP Rocky, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar, not J. Cole. It made more sense for him to assume the throne and guide the genre's advancement from there, given the whole New York situation. Now that we've nearly been waiting 10 years for a Rocky album, we're at a full circle point where he just released a song and everyone has finally abandoned him, to the extent that Rocky is actually unreleasing the song as soon as possible. In a sense, it's demonstrating that Rocky has fumbled his fame, because, as an artist who was once regarded as such a star, and has now descended to the point where he isn't even charting, it speaks to a serious issue with the direction of Rocky's career and how he has placed himself after providing his fans with nothing for years. Since they are aware that, at this point, for almost 10 years, the same formula of releasing a single, building it up, and stating that the album is coming soon leads to nothing. There is really no fan base left, and they don't even want to listen to and tune into you. Because even with the singles coming out, they're always just good or mediocre, and never really pushing the needle or anything like that. People have been waiting for so long and feel so deceived that they don't even want it at this point. And, in all honesty with this, which again leaves many listeners uninterested, A$AP Rocky is genuinely becoming irrelevant, as we can see so plainly from the fact that people don't even want to listen to his new music, because they are aware that nothing will result from it. Furthermore, I believe that a large portion of the rap community is quite furious with A$AP Rocky since, despite his numerous mistakes, he has had numerous chances to release this album and has made it a huge occasion. Again, it would have made sense to release this record, from which you obviously have played so many snippets, as you have literally earned the moniker Snippet Man, rather than just fumbling and fumbling repeatedly. It's just incomprehensible and a disservice to all the fans who have waited so long to hear any music, to simply put nothing out and demonstrate that you were aimless and directionless. In the end, Rocky has reached a stage where his music isn't even charting, which simply indicates that people don't care about it, since, once more, it's not a good look to get outstreamed by Nine Vicious. Well, this may have been the final justification Rocky needed to never release that album, because he is presumably afraid that the sales will be so bad that he will never be able to show himself again. Whether he is creating music or designing clothes, because he will look so bad for it. When you go from being a guy who has had many number ones and who has been at the center of everything to now looking like this, where you literally aren't even reaching the charts, it's bad. And it shows in the numbers that people are no longer rocking with you and that they don't even care to listen to your art. This is the case even though some people are attempting to defend Rocky by saying that numbers don't matter or something similar. And really, even while we don't always have to quantify things in terms of streams and numbers, that's the only way we do it with Drake. Because that's the game he wants to play. There are times when you lose and miss the whole audience, like with Rocky. This is a serious issue that suggests his life may be coming to an end. Going forward, I believe that whether you are ASAP Rocky or the Frozen Iceman, you should learn from Kendrick Lamar, the current king of rap, who is simply putting on a masterclass and demonstrating that no matter what, fans will always have an amazing experience with him, and that whenever he is performing, whether it be a song, a performance, or something else entirely, he will give it his all. And in everything he does, that has been evident. And it explains why he is currently enjoying such momentum, and why the rest of the rap industry is simply perplexed by it. Sincerely, what we are discovering about the negative aspects of hip-hop, and even with former superstars, is that, for whatever reason, these men simply don't want to become like Kendrick Lamar, whether it's because they are lazy or because they don't love the art. In this particular rap game, Kendrick is rising while many other rappers are falling. To reiterate the point I made in the last video, given everything these rappers are accomplishing in comparison to Kendrick Lamar, and how little effort they are actually putting in, the maximum they could achieve if they simply gave anything is real. However, at this point, we can state with certainty that the output from many of these men, including Rocky, is just insufficient. Now that we've covered everything, tell me what you think about the current state of hip-hop. What do you think about Kendrick Lamar simply making fun of Drake and demonstrating that no one is doing anything as good as Kendrick is with this song? And do you believe that ASAP Rocky is truly in danger of ruining his entire career at this point? Right now, I'm eager to hear your thoughts. Additionally, if you watched the entire video, please remember to subscribe and like it. It's really helpful to me. If you want to see how things went right before this, well, with Drake's new song and all the reactions it was receiving, the Drake fans were furious with me for saying that the song was already failing, and for LeBron's reaction, which actually made Drake look bad and LeBron look good. Check out the recommended video then.